Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Aquarius Rising Africa with me, Chantelle, definitely your hostess for the mostess. Because guess what I have here tonight? Christian Laterreur again. I always worry that I'm gonna butcher your name, but I seem to get it better. Welcome back, Chris, for the third interview. How are you? Really good to have you back. How's it going?
Thanks. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me back on your show. Yeah, like
Yeah, I'm really, I'm so fascinated by obviously all of the events, but lately as well, there's a lot of the Montauk stuff that's surfacing, and also speaking to Holly Baglio, who, as you know, is also one of the survivors speaking on the channel right now, and obviously your story as well, and it's so clear to me how the further we get along in this unveiling of the deception, right? It's clear to me how many, what I want to say, gatekeepers are actually out in the world, um, telling a little bit of this and a little bit of that, giving you the salt and pepper, but never the whole shebang, as I call it, you know. And I look at someone like yourself who, from the minute you woke up in 2010, your life has been made literally a living hell. And I know you've also been kind of sidelined, if you will, by some of the people that you were in the Montauk Project with, or maybe around that time, possibly people that are not wanting to talk. So you've really come out and you're actually sharing the real deal. And I maybe want to start off by, let's just go back to 2010, because that's when you woke up, right? When you had these pictures or visions in your head of having like your eyes being kept open, and you asked your mom, and then I would imagine that would have triggered her to contact her handler, because it's no doubt in my mind that she would have had a handler, um, even though she willingly, innocently signed you up for the programs, thinking she was doing a good thing for you. And obviously, it turned out to be something quite tragic. That's the way I see it. So, in 2010, when you started getting your memories back and things started surfacing for you, I think that must be quite an impact on your personal life as well. Not just the memories and now dealing with the reality of what the CIA really is, right? But also, it wakes you up, I would imagine, and everything is different. Everything you thought you knew about yourself, everything you thought your life was about has been a lie or a distortion at the very least. So I would love to hear from you what that's been like for you, just more on a personal note to begin with.
yeah. Well, for sure, when you wake up to all this and there's a period like you're in your mind as much as you want to function. And like I was having a business and all, but like I was thinking a lot because like those memories were coming back. And uh, yeah, I knew there were no doubt, at that time, like the memory was have memories of the Monarch Project and all, but to the and all this kicking in, at because like you're kind of conscious of it, but the memories are just hitting at once. Anyway, in my case, in 2010, that's what happened. And that's why I was asking my mom for those questions and all. And yeah, like her role, like, because yeah, she probably had a handler too, like, was to contact my handler and like say that I was like asking question or talking about stuff, and there's no time limit for this. Like this is a life contract with the CIA. Like so, at that point, the- yeah, my life totally like took a turn, and yeah, like I can't. Like it's hard to like go deeper than like how could I say that? Like yeah, to realize all this, that like you're living in a lie, and like all your life was like really you were lied to all your life. It hurts, like like because like it's your parents, like yeah, it's the foundation of your life. Like and yeah,
Yeah,
like it's a shock. Yeah, for sure, it's a shock to remember all this, and after like you want to know more, and like like you start passing, so like it gets overwhelming on somebody, like like if you don't do it like slowly, like one bite at a time, and like digest it, like yeah, like that's in my case, like that was a big shock, like it's this is overwhelming to realize, like like everything was a lie, like like that. Not just like on some like everything in your life you saw. Yeah, like
yeah, I would
so
imagine that's quite something to deal with.
yeah, yeah,
How did you find when you started waking up to this? And I can, yeah, I can imagine in the beginning there would have been these memories just coming and having no sequence and confusing you to a point of, wow, almost insanity, I would imagine. I would imagine something like that can drive you quite insane. But then as you start realizing what's going on and things start settling and you make decisions of how you're going to deal with this, how did you find your friendships, your personal friendships were affected? Did the people, like let's say your close friendships, did your friends and maybe family as well know about this? Did you speak with them? Did they accept this about you? Were they believing you? Or do you feel that you were more ostracized and kind of had
most of my
to?
friends were in the project. They all remember like yeah, like most of my friends like that I grew up with and that I'm still friends with. Yeah, like so they know it's true. Like like they they
Have
some of them tell me like, why are you digging into this? Like, look at me, like I live free, like I don't have like the stress that you have, and like like so but
wow.
yeah,
So you you have had your a lot of your friends were in the Montauk Project with you,
yeah,
and I would imagine that they also started getting memories back and that you've spoken to some of them about it, but they're choosing not to go public. They're
uh,
choosing just to carry on with their lives as if it
yeah,
was just another day,
a dream.
knowing what they know. Wow.
Because like
How does it,
we
how
got
does that make you?
so many times threatened by them, like like, hey, we're doing the knife thing, like like, and uh, in class. So like yeah, like that's so yeah, like they were threatening us if we were talking, like so yeah, that's why like everybody there's not many that talks the
Mm.
people that were in that project, like
How do you feel about your friends not talking? I mean, do you feel like you're alone with your group in this group? Do you feel like you kind of
yeah.
like a mouthpiece, or do
Well,
you feel a
I
bit?
have still friends that are talking and like that are supporting me and like saying to everybody, yeah, that's true. Like that's how we met and blah blah blah. And like to anyone who asks us, like that's true. Like they won't say bullshit. They're not liars. They're the same as me. So
Yeah. So you have your backup that you know the truth. There's not even a question in your heart.
oh
You know
yeah,
what's true.
yeah, and like there's a lot of yeah, I got a lot of meat on the bone still. Like, I'm just coming out with my story first, and like. Uh, once my story they see that it's coming out and everything goes well, like they'll do it like too, like but yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. So I really hope, I honestly hope that, yeah, more and more people start speaking. I think again, it's easy for someone to judge and say, well, start talking. But I think the reality of taking that step is a massive step, because you have to know your life is never the same after that. And especially, and I would imagine that your friends would probably be married with children at that stage. They've got families, businesses, jobs, careers, whatever. And to have the very foundation of your being threatened in such a massive way, and not just, oh, well, you're going to lose your car or your house. Your family gets threatened. Your children get threatened. Um, and that we know that they actually will attack the ones that are closest and the nearest and dearest to you. Yeah.
That's what they did in my case, like they came and got me to my kids when I was like they set me up, they sent me in jail, they got my kids, like they played in their head, like uh they took everything I had and also like that's why we're there today, like that I'm like they tried to kill me and all, and like like so at some point, like yeah,
Can you talk to us about what it was like in prison for you? Because I know they set you up. I know that they started taking your stuff from the last shows. They started taking your belongings, and you
yeah,
went and sorted a guy out, and he got hurt, and that was really the reason they arrested you, was for attempted murder. So they kind of had a reason, I guess, from their side, um, for them to arrest you, and you were locked up in a maximum security prison for like 2 years. And during this time, while you're locked away, they take your two children, who at the time were teenagers, and put them in a juvenile facility for 2 years. Is that correct?
yeah, yeah. Like just because like the monarch programming, like it's transferred to our gene to our kids. I'm like they just probably studied my kids for those 2 years, like because they probably have the same triggers and like from my trauma like was transferred to them, and like so they probably have the same codes or same like
Do
so
you
yeah
suspect that do you suspect they're using your kids?
uh at some point, yeah. Okay.
Sure, it must be hard.
Yeah, yeah, like and like the day I left, uh, my handler uh, made a surprise visit to my ex, and like my kids were living there, and like oh, I'm here to visit, and I want to talk to Roxanne about how gangs work and all. So he went and talked, but my ex felt something was weird and off, you know. And when he got out of the room and all, he said, "Oh, can you make sure to tell Chris that I say hi." And so that was just a message like, "Hey, we're at your kid's house," like you know. Like so, anyway, that's the because I just left. I left everything. Like they weren't expecting this. When I left the place, like I left everything. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm
What
still
was,
alive.
yeah, well, we're very happy you're still alive to tell the
Yeah.
story. Divinely
Yeah.
protected. We have no doubt about that because, my word, what you've been through to get here is a lot. Can you share with us what your experience was like in prison? I mean, were they targeting you specifically, or did they just use that as an opportunity to lock you away? Were you, did they do tests and things on you while you were there? What was it like with the other prisoners? And I mean, I think I'm also curious to know if the other prisoners, because you were locked up in a maximum security facility, were the other guys with you? Do you know or suspect or think that they were also part of the projects and were maybe being triggered, stuff like that? Were you not the only one who was locked up for those reasons?
Um. Give me a second. Um. I was oh, there were other people from MK that were in prison for sure, and but like they were it wasn't like a prison for MK or uh they were kind of traveling us from one prison to the other as soon as we were getting comfortable in one place, they were changing us of place, just traveling. And yeah, sometimes I gotta admit that you were waking up in jail and you were like almost like hangover. So I don't know if they come at night in your cell, or somehow spray stuff or to put you numb, or say something to hypnotize you. And but yeah, sometimes yeah, when I was waking up, I felt weird, like hangover kind of thing, and not because of party time or really oh, no more sound.
Sorry, I had myself on mute. Can't imagine you had much party time in prison.
Yeah. Well, we still did a bit of alcohol there. Yeah,
Oh, really?
home.
So you,
Oh
you
yeah.
okay? Well, tell us about some things. Some of your what happened there. I mean, what did you do? What did you get up to? You're in a maximum security prison for 2 years, locked up
Uh,
because the government has decided they have to get you away from society so they can take your kids and do tests on them and traumatize you to the hilt. So were you fighting with the other guys? Did they set up fights? Is it like, I would imagine that
yeah.
they would have triggered you as well. They would have triggered you
Yeah.
guys, if especially if there were other guys in the projects in prison as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, I had a fight there, with a few guys, and yeah, that was. I think it's normal in jail. Like there's some bad stuff. Like hey, some people are like putting like tuna cans and like socks and like going to hit somebody. Like uh, yeah, when there's a few like on the some with tuna cans and socks like that like shreds like people. So yeah, there's yeah, prison is maximum security is rough. You know, like yeah. My buddy
Sure.
got stabbed with a pen in the neck. Like, uh, yeah, all kinds of, yeah. Jail is tough place. Maximum security. Like,
Did
we don't
they
have
ever
like
let you?
much freedom, you know, like 45 minutes, an hour a day or every 2 days to go outside. The rest is like always locked up. And
Were you alone in a cell or were you with someone?
uh, two per cell. Yeah.
And was your cellmate cool?
Yeah, the ones I had, yeah, like never had any issues with them. Like, yeah, like people
Did they
are doing
allow
their
you
shit.
contact? Did they allow you contact with your kids during that time?
Yeah, through phone. Like, there's two public phone, but like it's $3 a minute to do calls, and like so it costs like $3 to everybody want to talk. Like $3 a minute to call because you can't pay from yourself there. So like it's collect calls, and yeah, that's like. Sucks because
At least you got.
and today like everybody has their phone numbers on like their in their cell phones, like you know, like numbers of everybody. It's hard like yeah, when, anyway, in my case, like they took everything I had, like yeah,
How
didn't
did?
have
At what point?
access, nothing.
What?
What
What let them let you out? What was the reason you got out after 2 years? Because although, I mean, I would not like to be in prison for 2 minutes, let alone 2 years. But what made them release you? Because I guess they could have kept
my
you for a lot
escape,
longer.
my
You
escape.
escaped.
Yeah,
Okay, you got to tell us that story.
yeah, because like I was maximum security and all, and the I saw the nurse got the nurse that saved me got killed. So like in the newspaper. So like that's where I started to like, yeah, I gotta get out of here before something happens. And so and to go and like people were like stealing my stuff and all. And so like I asked my lawyer to get me because I was still in trial and all. So like asked my lawyer to get me a psychiatric evaluation. I had somebody waiting for me where right next to where they transferred because like people from the jail knew like how this was gonna go because I was talking with other inmates for that, and like they helped me, you know, like hey, like it's not his place here, transfer him there and blah blah blah. It's stuff like that, you know. They just so yeah, when I got there, like I escaped right away. I was on the news everywhere for like a year, and like there were um, uh, police, like I think around 40 police that were like hidden in like all the place that they thought I would go and kill the people. So, but like after a year, I turned myself in without having killed anybody. So like I kind of like completely um, broke their narrative, you know, by doing this because like
Yeah, for
they were
sure.
painting me like you know, so yeah, and I fell on the right people at the right time to help me out. I'm not sure if it's not people from MK. I'm not sure.
Wow. Well, that's amazing that you're able to get that. So, and now obviously you out there on a very important crusade mission, not crusade mission, to actually get your story out there. And I think what's really important is that, um, as codename Duncan Cameron, that was a very important moment for, I want to say, this planet actually, because it really put an end to the type of abuses that were going on there, for starters. Although it didn't end, we know that MK Ultra and these programs really just continued on after that and are still continuing on to this day. And the series like Stranger Things, based on your torture and the torture of countless other kids who've lost their lives, um, not making it. So I think that's an amazing thing that you're doing, and going against everything that is comfortable. You're going against everything that is comfortable. You know that there were friends, people that know who you are, that were there that day, right? Friends with they're not talking. How does that actually make you feel? I mean, I understand everything happens in divine timing, right? But as the kid who is Duncan Cameron, and having had so many others posing, or I don't know if there were so many others, I know there was one, posing as Duncan Cameron, and also just having that so many, the, the TV series based on that, making it look like the sci-fi, right? And that it's this beautiful sci-fi thing. But at the same time, so many kids who were supposedly that character. And I don't want to discredit anyone's testimony, but there was only one Duncan Cameron, right? And yet so many kids have been given the idea that it was them. How does that make you feel? Where are you at with that in your mind?
It's kind of like feel it's insulting because uh, my story is backed up like from when I was a young kid to up to today, and because those people came up with my story and put it fiction, and now it's going everywhere from every way, people are losing the base of what happened there, and that's they destroyed our lives. Some of my friends are really not well, and some are dead, and all from this, and to see cartoons made about my story, that's the shock, kind of it's, yeah, that's insulting, feeding this to kids through cartoons, and
Hmm.
instead of
Yeah,
educating what really happened to us, and who were those kids that died, and uh you know like uh whose life they destroyed, and that's, and that
doesn't
people
enter the
are
equation.
have access now to this, and that they are not talking about it, that sucks, and that's anyway, that's my point of view. I'm not there to force anybody, but yeah, if people would measure everything I got into this, all the risk, everything I do, and mm, yeah, I don't know many people that close five, six plays like that were used like for MK Ultra project. I don't know many people that come out like with like a statement like I did. Like like it's a legal statement. Anybody can use this in court. Like and like people are still talking about like sci-fi and like uh, impersonators or because like yeah they made somebody pass for me like uh,
Yeah,
for how many years like like that other Duncan Cameron that like the age wasn't fitting at all. Like the guy was 30 something when in 83. Like there were no 30 something years old in the cage with us. We were young kids, all young kids. And like, like by pushing like that sci-fi thing, you're like people are pushing away from the truth because I'm exposing the truth. And like that sucks.
yeah.
That's what hurts me because like like everything I got like like all the risk I take and all that. Yeah, it just uh,
Well, I'm a great believer in the truth is one thing that always stands. All the bullshit and the falsities come crumbling down, and the truth at the end of the day is the only thing that stands. So, I mean, I think it must be hugely frustrating to, as you say, have someone be passed off as you. I'd actually like to, I mean, to me, the fact that they would have made him at that stage, 30 something, whatever, clearly a lot younger than what the guys of that August, 12th of August 83 were. I mean, you guys would have all been round about the age of 50 now, maybe a year or two either way, right? So that would have been the age limit. And this guy was what? Not that age. I don't know what age he was.
it was like yeah 20 something 25 years older than us something like that and like that people believe that he was like the brother of Al Balek like that they came out of the USL Ridge and I like like
Why
that's
do you think, if you think about the controllers who put him there, which clearly, to me, anyone who was in Montauk that day would know it was not him, because just the fact that the age doesn't match, right? So the boys that were there that day, why do you think they are deliberately fooling people? Do you think that maybe someone somewhere wants the truth to come out because it's such a blatant lie? It's like, how can you even believe that? Or do you think they're really just playing with human minds and just laughing at how stupid we are at believing everything they put out there? I mean, this is part of the mind control. To me, it's all, even that is a type of a project they do. It's like, how stupid are humans? Okay, we will put this guy out there. Clearly, the age is not right, but we'll just tell you that it is, and let's see how many figure it out. I'm using that as an example. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. What is your take on that whole picture?
yeah I think it's like probably to discredit from the truth and to because yeah like people that were there, like like you got to be at least 50. Like I was one of the youngest one there. Like so like yeah, like you got to be at least 50 to have been at Montauk. Like I know there's other places similar to that. I don't doubt like that there's other places, but like Montauk, like, and what happened to Montauk? Like, yeah. Anyway, that's and like I know there's it's not just me and Swerdlow that's still alive there from that day, like in the there's a bunch of kids that were in the bus, like so like would be nice that some come out and like say that this is what really happened, like the way it happened and all, like the military trucks and the bus and like I don't know, but yeah, like,
Stewart Swerdlow did that documentary. Was it the Montauk Chronicles? I think, right?
yeah, yeah,
What do you make of that? Because he actually mentions Duncan Cameron in there, and I mean, I don't know if I can ask you this, and you're welcome to say no. Have you ever had any conversations with him around that day?
right. I tried to reach him. I sent him a message saying that like uh, sorry to get back bug him, but like I was transported in the same car and all. I gave him a bunch of details and all, and that's the only thing he did. He blocked me, and
He blocked you?
yeah, and that's Andy Diamond that told me, oh yeah, he was living there 15 minutes away from your place. So like, because I didn't remember the guy like 40 years after, like
Sure.
so yeah, but like I remember like where he lived, everything we said, like all the times I saw him, like I remember him as a young kid, like like so. Yeah, and like I tried to get in contact with him, but I think he's scared. Like he has this reason, like you know, I was mad at some point because he's talking about me and he's not coming out for me. He's talking about my story, but he's not coming out for me. But yeah, like not everybody thinks the same way, or I think
Interesting that. I just find
like
that interesting.
yeah, same. Like yeah, like at least like I don't know, say hi, like not because we were friends or like we weren't friends, like but we were traveled a few times together and we met a few times together through the project, and like that was so bad and all, like at the age we are and all, it would just be normal to say hey, like yeah, like, we went through a lot, and like, even if we weren't friends or not to become friends, or but just like like fuck, we made it out of
Acknowledge.
there, like like that's us for real, like so I don't know, yeah, that's my perception of how I but that's me, so yeah,
Well, I think as I said, in my opinion, it's at some point the truth will definitely surface. And yeah,
oh
it
yeah,
is, I guess, pretty damn frustrating when you know the truth, yet someone is keeping it behind a cage, giving
yeah,
partial truth and keeping the real truth behind the door of a cage. Kind of leaves one feeling very frustrated. But hey, you know what I say about that is that clearly you're doing the right thing, because they wouldn't be going to the lengths that they are to try and stop you from sharing and shadow banning you. I mean, as you, I think, mentioned in one of our previous interviews, you've been banned from Amazon for life.
yeah,
I mean, who's been banned from Amazon for life unless you're going
for a
completely
book,
against a narrative that they definitely don't want anyone to see, or the broader public anyway, right? Well, on that and on that note, I want to just please highlight and invite everyone to get a copy of your book. The link will be in the description. I have a copy as well, so if you guys want to get a copy of Chris's book through me, you're welcome to email me. Um, I really think your story is important because, as you say, it's a legal document, and I love your background, by the way. because that's what it is. It's a legal document that is really your deposition. And
Yeah,
it's, you know, and I know you've said you'd definitely be prepared to go for even lie detectors, tests and
yeah,
stuff like that. You know, I just think that the time is here, and, you know, the truth does take a little bit longer to surface, but enough
yeah,
of us speaking the truth, it comes up. So, yeah,
yeah.
nice one. So, I wish you lots of strength, love, and luck on that part of your journey for sure. Because I know you kind of you wanting to go legal now. I don't know if you can even mention anything like this. Is there anything you can say on the show about what you want to do
Well,
in terms of?
yeah, well, yeah, like for sure at some point, like cause like yeah, I don't mind like because I got like I said, like my book is not only a book, it's like a legal statement, you know, like uh, everything that can be verified, and I got all the proof to prove that like the series Stranger Thing is based out of my story. Like they just like changed stuff, like so. Yeah, people are gonna hear about this soon because yeah, something's coming with that because yeah, think anybody that would be at my place would do the same thing.
I know, absolutely. I definitely think um, it's so
That's a good
important
way
to,
to prove that the story is real. You know,
yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you on that. And as you say, you know, when you know the truth, you've got to stand up for it because that's really the only thing that sets us all free. And it's not just for you only. You know, I look at these things and having interviewed survivors for so many years, and these are just the ones that survived, right?
yeah,
Never mind the ones that didn't survive, and
yeah,
the ones that have been nameless, faceless,
yeah.
trafficked,
And they
bred,
raised them, yeah,
and
yeah,
just you know, I go back to the story that you mentioned, I think in our first interview, or can't remember which one it was. But when you speak about on this particular day of Campiero, um, the kid that was in an adjacent cell to you that was dead, hanging upside down, gutted, and just
yeah,
bleeding out. I mean, that's somebody's child. It was
yeah,
somebody's child. You know, I mean, I often wonder because a lot of these Montauk projects, or part of the Montauk, I know was to collect these homeless boys, right, off the street.
yeah. Not
Um,
only, yeah, like I know there were some that like were taking off the street, but mainly it was like kids like from regular family, like me. I know the ones I saw there, yeah, like I knew their family. I knew so like yeah, so regular people. Like,
these were actually memories that obviously surfaced only later of, let's say, the cages and stuff, obviously. I mean, can you give us and the viewers just an insight of what it is to remember something like that?
look at the worst horror movie of torture and like put this in the worst scenario of its kids being done this, and that was pretty much what we
And you were
like. And
there.
like those people like that were like doing this were like the militaries and all that were coming and scaring us or raping kids or stuff like that. They were on LSD too. Like they were fucked up. Like they were scary. Like fucked up. Like not. there were nothing like nice in there. Like, like those people were really crazy on LSD, like, like and everything was
Do you
a
think
farce for them. Like, like evil. Like it's hard to describe the yeah, like there were no rules in there. Like no uh no no limits or like yeah, it was like yeah, uh, it's hard to describe. Like
I think the one what you've just the phrase you used, there were no rules in there. I think that says it all. There were no rules, and you were small kids at the mercy of these monsters. And I'm wondering if it actually was LSD they were on. Do you not think it could have been adreno? Because that adrenochrome is known to make them
maybe
completely psychotic.
yeah, they were like yeah, you got to be psychotic to do that to kids first, but like yeah, and to laugh and to like and, yeah, like no, I think they were high for sure. Like yeah,
Sure. I can't imagine the trauma on a child's mind to experience that. And I think one of the scenes that I often replay in my mind when I think of your story is, again, I think the same day we're talking about, where they got you guys very high on LSD, beat you up, did horrific things, and then butchered a pig
yeah,
slowly, painfully,
that
for
sound like
hours.
yeah, in the tunnel, like like yeah, like if you weren't seeing them, like you were hearing them, like fart in the cages, or like like and yeah, but the pig, like that was something. Yeah, the sound of this, like like it's scary, like when you're a kid, like yeah, so
Listen, a pig, I grew up on the farm and I was always carrying the baby pigs around. I know how those things scream just when you're carrying it around, okay? You're not even doing anything to it.
yeah,
No,
so yeah.
can't imagine.
Like I wasn't a kid from a farm or like I was city kid kind of thing. Like yeah, not used to that kind of yeah. So
No, but that's why I say I can imagine what that must have been like for you guys. Absolutely horrific. So I'm really glad and I'm very grateful that you're sharing your story. And I know I've asked you some quite personal questions this evening, and I'm very grateful that you've answered them. So thank you. There was a whole lot more, but we're going to do that for another show. If you're good to do
yeah,
that,
sure.
because we wanted to chat about the difference between MK Ultra and MK Often, sleepers, the whole Monarch butterfly program, go into a little bit more detail with that, and MK Ultra, yeah, just generally. But I think what I like about our shows is that they sometimes just take a life of their own. So today it just seemed to take on a personal
Yeah.
turn with you, and I'm very
Reflection of
grateful.
yeah the situation of that then and now and like yeah. Hopefully
Yeah,
hopefully people will wake up to like yeah because the truth is out there now like so
yeah, absolutely. I think so many people are so much more willing to hear it now. Again, I keep referring back to 5 years. I mean, obviously, 5 years seems to be a bit of a milestone, but it's like 5 years ago, people were waking up to the horrors of satanic ritual, and that was in my experience, okay? And there was a lot of sensationalism going on, right? And unfortunately, stories like these do create a lot of sensationalism. But then, of course, it's everyone then gets on the bandwagon as well, and no one knows what's what. And then you hear all sorts of people coming up with stories, and
yeah,
a month later, they are a CIA plant, and you know, and you go, no, come on, so we've really had to learn to discern. And I think I always say our most important spiritual gift right now is discernment, to discern the truth from lies. And the only way we're going to do that is to be spiritually in tune with God, creator, source, whatever you choose to call it, right? Because it's only then you feel and sense the truth. Because this is not a war with, although it is, with weapons and stuff as we're seeing, but it's not just a war with our military guys anymore and the boys, our fathers and sons and brothers. It's everyone. And
yeah,
it's the psychological warfare, right? And it's
yeah,
how much can we deceive you through advertising, through media, through changing history, through timelines shifting,
yeah,
through torturing our children, through lying. Oh gosh, I can't, for me, the lies about it. And adults, in my world, I could trust adults. I really could. My worst adult was the matron at the hostel, because I was a kid that had to go to boarding school, who smacked my ass when I was most insulted because I was naughty. Um, that's my least trusted adult. I can tell you that now. So for someone like myself to hear that these people were doing and still are doing these things to kids, and standing here with smiles on their faces, pretending to have the world's interests at their hearts, and doing all these fake philanthropy programs and things, is just disgusting. So I really think it's such an important time to be discerning. What are the,
yeah.
just before we close, what would you, if there was one thing you could say to people right now in terms of where your story, where you're at, what you know, what would that be?
Uh, like yeah, like well, what my story, like like there's not many. I think it's a first that like somebody closes like 5, 6 plays like used for those projects and like I don't know anybody who has done this in the past, like another like a whistleblower on MK or like, but yeah, like I think yeah, my story is important. Like it's all fact, but like people have to look into it. Like
Research. Yeah.
yeah, because like if you go with all the legends, like I think at some point those legends, it's nice to have legends and like that my stories talk about, but like it takes off the seriousness of it. And like
Yeah.
everybody's adding like oh parts and bits and like yeah and like that's where like
To
it's
know
gonna
the
happen
truth,
like
really.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To know the truth of where these legends and where these superheroes and who the
yeah,
real superheroes really are. And that would be the Montauk boys and girls. Because you
yeah,
guys gave your lives, your innocence, for entertainment. I mean, isn't that horrible to think about? I mean, I want to just think about that now. Now they've got this entertainment out here, and lives, thousands, not just one or two,
Oh no,
years and
thousands.
years of psychological, spiritual abuse. And one of the things we're going to talk about the next time is the MK often, which is the
Yeah,
spiritual side. It's the sister to MK
yeah.
Ultra. So it's the spiritual abuse, the witchcraft, the demonic entities and
That's pretty
stuff.
much what I was doing. Like, anyway, because like I look at the facts from MK often, and it's pretty much like exactly what I did. Like, like with the same people, like the same experiences and all. So yeah, like that's
It's so multi-layered, isn't it? Because they're not just torturing you with hardcore mind control, sitting in the chair, strapping things to your head, pinning your eyes open, the physical aspect of torture. Now, the MK often layered in between that is the demonic entities
yeah,
and the spiritual torture as well. So it's not just one layer of torture, it's dimensions
everywhere.
of torture. It's seeped into you like ink. You don't know how to even remove it anymore. It's like you
Yeah,
can't. You have to be so spiritually in tune to
yeah,
release yourself of that, that's for sure.
yeah.
Wow.
Or you gotta have died a few times. Yeah, like to.
And
Oh
come
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Well, Chris, I'm really glad that you are here and that you're talking to us. And I want to just say again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing. And we'll have you back for the other stuff again. I know
Yeah,
that sometimes the interviews, I don't want to get them to be too long because talking about this information does get overwhelming, guys. So I'd
yeah.
rather just do it in bite-sized chunks for our guests. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. And take
Thanks.
good care. Until the next time. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody. Look forward to seeing you soon. God bless you all. Mwah. Goodbye.